Hey guys, before we go ahead and get on with the video, I want to take this time to shout out a few of my YouTube membership members. They're going to be Shinobi Ninja, Roll Bonza, Random Planet, Jay Moonar, and Saiyan Plays. Thank you guys again so much for your support over on YouTube memberships. If you guys want to be a part of YouTube memberships, it only costs 99 cents per month. You will get a badge right next to your name, access to exclusive emotes, you'll be randomly shouted out on videos such as this one, and you guys will automatically be entered into my monthly $15 gift card giveaway that I do at the end of every month. All of that for 99 cents per month. Without further ado, let's go ahead and move forward with the video. What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel, back with another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In this video, we're going to ask the question, will you be pulling for Balthier's FR weapon, as it is going to be debuting soon in Global Opera Omnia, and he's also going to be getting a rework. A few things that I want to talk about before we actually talk about Balthier's upgrades that he's getting soon in the global version of the game. First off, Balthier later on gets his second rework, as well as his FR Echo, and as well as the debut of his burst weapon. That's not going to be for a while on global, however, it is already live on JP, and you guys know that I like to use my JP account just to give you guys a little bit of, animations and show you guys a little bit of gameplay. However, some of the things that you might see is something that he is getting later on in the global side of the game, so just keep that in mind, that his second rework and all that good stuff, he's going to get that later down the line. Also, I want to point out that I'm trying out something a little bit different. Well, not really different, because I've done this type of presentation before, but as you can see, the layout looks a little different. I kind of spiced it up a little bit, and I'm going to be going back and forth between this type of presentation and then the more scripted type with the Let's Play at the very end that's non-scripted. Let me know which one you guys like better, but I am going to be messing around with that a little bit more often. And I also want to remind you guys that if you guys like what you see on this channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on that notification bell. That way you guys don't miss out on new videos. And also let me know down below in the comment section what your guys' plans are for Balthier's FR weapon debut in global. Are you going to pull? Are you going to skip? Are you excited for him? Let me know all that good stuff in the comment section down below. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and talk about the upgrades that Balthier gets. So he's going to be getting a rework on his Skill 1 Snatch Shot and its Plus variant, as well as a Skill 2 Great Aim Plus, and its and also his EX, which is Fires of War, and also his LD. Pretty much they're going to be getting more HP attacks across the board. In particular, his LD now actually does 6 AoE HP attacks, so it's doing a lot more damage. He has a higher chance to steal buffs from targets with his Skill 1. Brave Gains is going to be higher on his Skill 2, and then his Fires of War also deals more HP damage. It steals more buffs from targets, and it has a faster recast speed. So all in all, he is going to be getting an upgrade from the damage perspective, from being able to steal buffs. He's going to be doing more of that, and also having a higher chance of being able to steal buffs with some of his specific skills. So he is there to deal range damage, and as well as being able to steal buffs. And let's not forget, he also cleanses debuffs from the party coming from that LD skill. So he's pretty versatile in that sense when he fulfills that role of a dispeller and as well as a cleanser. Now with his brand new FR weapon, it's called Wake Damage. This is going to be partnering him up with Sid Highwind from Final Fantasy VII. He's going to be cleansing debuffs from the party and also stealing 3 buffs from all enemy targets. He's going to be dealing 6 AoE Brave hits and a split AoE HP attack 3 times. This is an insta turn rate skill, and in order to increase the HP damage bonus, you have to do the following. So you can increase it by 40% when a party member attacks an enemy with no buffs, so that's pretty easy to fulfill as long as enemies don't have any buffs. Now you can also increase it by an additional 20% when a party member uses a ranged skill on their turn. Not off turn, but their turn. So if you're running Balthier with ranged characters, it's definitely going to complement this FR gauge. And then the very last one is actually pretty huge, but at the same time, it is very specific. So it's going to be increased by 80% when a party member removes at least 1 buff, and this does include off-turn damage. Now, this also applies to Dispel, so you don't need to just steal a buff, you can also Dispel. So you got, different characters that you could think of right off the top of my head. I'm thinking of like Vanille could do this. If you want another buff stealer, I'm thinking of Yuffie could do this as well. So you have some different options there to fulfill that very specific HP damage bonus gauge increase. It is a high increase because of how specific it is, but if you can actually pull it off, it is quite a bit of an increase to the FR gauge damage. Now, what are my overall thoughts about Balthier? Now, I do think that he got some pretty good upgrades overall overall in the damage department, and also being able to steal more buffs and having a higher chance of stealing buffs with certain skills from his rework. So that was good. So then that way he's a little bit more up to date when it comes to the rest of the roster in the current era of the game. As far as his FR goes, I think it's pretty decent. It's not bad. It's pretty flexible in terms of the first two conditions, because you get that 40% increase if a party member is attacking a target with no buffs, and then you get another 20% if they're dealing range damage. And you know, there's a bunch of range damage characters that you could use. Now, as far as the very last one, it's powerful, but at the same time, it's super specific, and you're not really going to come across a lot of bosses that buff themselves quite often, especially, let's say, if you're running a strategy of like no turning a boss or like preventing them from getting any actions. Well, you kind of need to let them take actions in order to really take advantage of that last requirement. Or let's say you have a fight that you're doing, a Shinryu fight, where let's say at a specific percentage, you know that a boss is about to put a bunch of buffs on themselves. Then this is where you could use the very, very powerful HP damage bonus increase with this FR. But again, it is super specific, but that doesn't mean that Balthier is by no means weak or anything like that with his upgrades. I actually think he's pretty solid. One of the pluses that I see in this character is that he is non-elemental. So with the upcoming elemental lockout fights, actually we're already in elemental lockout in global, you could fit him in various party comps and just have the correct element in the form of like an enchant, and then you have the Imperial. So then that way Balthier can still do his damage. But as far as like damage wise, he's solid. Not the best, because he has a lot of competition from burst damage dealers that we already have in the game, but he can be flexible. His actual role in battle with his abilities is, I want to say, it is pretty niche, especially that very last FR gauge condition. But if you're able to pull it off, it's actually really, really cool to see, and I think overall he's a solid unit. I personally am going to be skipping this character. I've already talked to a bunch of folks in my community that said they're probably going to skip him and maybe wait later on when he gets his second rework, his FR Echo, and also his burst weapon, because he gets significantly better, at least in my opinion, he gets significantly better during that time. But if you want to use him now, if you want to have fun with him now, I think he's solid, and I think he does his job great. But me personally, I'm going to be skipping. Anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into a little bit of a live gameplay demonstration here. Let me just move my mic here so you guys can hear me a little bit better. So I specifically chose this Shinryu fight, which is the Aerith Intertwined Wills Shinryu. Global just got this, but the reason why I chose this is because I know at 40% and at 40% for the enemy's FR gauge, they immediately buff themselves automatically. So this is a great way to show off the increase for Balthier's FR. Now, something that I want to point out is I did remove his FR boards that he gets for that coincides with this FR Echo. So then that way you guys are seeing the, at least I hope it's the correct increase, you know, with this FR enhancements and things like that. So I did remove that, so then that way this is accurate. So let's go ahead and press that right now. Here we go. So he summons Sid. So he is going to be stealing 3 buffs from each target, which kind of sucks. I should have set this up better before I did this video, but we'll at least still get to see him steal something. So then that way we get to see the increase. At least that 80%. That's the one that we want to see. All right, so we should be getting that big increase plus that 20% because we are attacking with a range skill. So let's actually use, you know what? Let's use Great Aim. Yeah. And you are going to be seeing the reworked version of this, the second reworked version, which is that follow-up that you see right there. Boom. You guys see that? That is a huge increase as long as it's set up correctly. So again, it's very, very specific, but if you're actually able to pull it off and time it properly, the increase can actually be pretty good. And like I said earlier, I think he's a solid character, non-elemental, you know, good option for these elemental lockouts because he doesn't have an element attached to him. So if you're looking to use Balthier, that's pretty much one of the ways that you could use him. Let's just go ahead and press another skill here so we get to see the other increase without enemies having buffs. Here we go. There we go. So it's a 63% increase if you're not playing off of the whole removing a buff or stealing a buff, so not as good as the other one, but still pretty solid in my opinion. But all in all, this is going to go ahead and include my video for Will You Pull for Balthier's FR debut in Global Opera Omnia. Again, I also want to remind you guys, please don't just take my word for what I say about these characters. Go check out the rest of the fantastic content creators out there, all the different resources out there that I link down below in the video description and the pinned comments. I get a lot of questions asked on stream, and sometimes I don't remember these things, and I always find myself going back to like the Compendium, Tonberry Troop, Dissidia DB. I even ask questions from my own community because I don't remember everything. So guys, highly encourage you guys to check out all the resources and the rest of the content creators. That way you guys can formulate your own educated decision on whether or not you're going to be pulling on these characters that I talk about in these videos. This is 40 the Broadway Saiyan signing out. Stay tuned for the next video and stay blessed.